Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Good Servant Hour. Not really an hour, 45 minutes. I know my limits. Keep it humble. Me and my brother used to kind of pick on each other. Like we would talk about being humble and, really take it the other way. Like, I'm going to be the most humblest dude in the history of the world. I'm going to be the champion of humbleness, like just totally like destroying the whole idea of being humble, wanting to be the ultimate champion of humbleness. But then you reach real humility and find out what that really is about, right? You reach that. I don't know if it's an age or a spiritual maturity, or because I've seen it in younger people, and it's amazing. Like to see a young person that's humble is just like phenomenal. And I always express it to, especially a younger person that has it, like that people really do like humble people. What's up, Cellar Door? How are you doing? Good morning. Nice to see you. Welcome to the Good Servant Show, which is really, to be honest, is really the star of the show is Jesus Christ and his sacrifice and his grace for us. And the only thing that I'm just a servant, right? And we named the channel Good Servant because there was two of us, and I was just the servant. But ever since it's been just kind of me, people just call me Good Servant. So it just is what it is. Yes, of course, you're always welcome, right? Hey, Chris. Hey, AJ. I'm so grateful, right? Because I just got done watching some guy read this excerpt from a book. I can't remember what the book was, but some kind of non-canonical, scripture type, like an Enoch type situation. And I wish I knew. I have it in my notes somewhere. I did copy and paste it and put it in my notes, but it's unfortunately I can't get to it at this moment. But he was reading about oh, that's great. Yeah, I have a lot of respect for Peanut. A lot of respect for Peanut. I do. And I appreciate him letting me talk over on his platform. And I hope that I'm able to reach people that haven't been saved yet, even. And it would be great to be holding that last sheep, right? That makes it uh God creates all believers and God saves all people, right? And uh, or he does all the saving, right? And so, but just to be part of that, I would love to be part of that, holding the last sheep that just barely makes it at the very end, like almost like a thief on the cross situation. But that's just my dream. I'm just grateful to be just to wake up and just know the end of the story, right? Just to be grateful that we win this story. We're special. God loves us. We're his idea, right? And so this guy was reading this excerpt, right? That the only thing that Satan can really do to us, right, is um, plant thoughts in our head, like to try like mind control on us, right? Like get us to fear or to think about things or to uh, want to battle or fight against or these feelings, right? Like things that are going on in the world with the jab and with the stuff in Hollywood and occultism and world leaders and all that stuff, right? Satan can get into your, give you thoughts and mess with your mind, right? And I think that's the whole thing, right? Because like, what does government mean, right? I've said this many times. Government means mind control, right? Governmental, to govern the mind, right? And Satan is the adversary, right? So we have an opposing adversarial mind control, right? And Satan can mess with our brain, right? Give us all these things to think about, try to play his little mind games on us, little tricks, right? Get us to even beat ourselves, right? But what he can't do is he can't make us do anything, right? The only power he has is the power that God gave him. I mean, Jesus said it best when Pontius Pilate was saying, "I have the power to let you live or die," right? And Jesus said straight to Pontius Pilate, "The only power that you have, the only authority you have, is what my Father in heaven gives you. That's it. So if I'm to die, then that's just the cup that I get, right?" And it even says in Scripture, right? If you resist the devil, he will flee from you. If we don't play the game with him, right? He can't get us. And yeah, of course, if the Father allows him to do something to us for the benefit of, the greater good, right? Because obviously, if God allows Satan to get us, right, it's for God's good, for God's purpose, right? So God is only good, right? Everything that God does leads to good, right? It's very reassuring to see these things and read these things in Scripture. But when this guy was reading out of this other text, I wish I had the notes or whatever, but he was reading out of this other book that said that that's all that Satan can do, and it did like match with the Scripture that I've read in the canon, right? And I'm like, wow, that's phenomenal, right? But he even said something that I haven't heard before, and it's something that I heard from Shepherd's Voice before, which is that angels being made flesh to live, right? Like human beings. Now that's interesting. And definitely he was saying something about being, God knowing us from before the foundations of the earth. And I know that is scripture. That's for sure. Even if you count it as that God created the beginning from the end, God knew us before the earth was created. He did. And, of course, like there's always like these other ways of saying it that are like more obvious. Like you can't add any information to God, right? God knows everything. You can't like take away or surprise him or add to anything that God is, right? You were in there the whole time, right? And until he made you sentient, right? And gave you like your own free will, right? You were in there somewhere, you know? And so, yes, we were definitely with him before we were placed in these bodies, right? But I still believe, right, that we are like he thought us up, right? I do believe we can like I don't believe we always were with him. I believe that he did think us up, right? Like that because God, he's not missing anything. Like he has everything whenever he wants all the time. And at so he's not really there's nothing he needs, right? Like it's just incredibly humble, right? If you're God and you have everything, right? Going back to humility, right? Um, that God has everything and he made you. So he's not missing anything. He doesn't need anything. He needs a who, not a what, right? So he needs you. He doesn't need a bicycle. He doesn't need $1 million, right? He made you. That's what he was missing, right? That's what he wanted. Is I mean, not only did he create you, but he created everything about you, even all the way up until this point. every hair on your head. I mean, there's a purpose for everything. So even all the, I wouldn't say that he was the author of all the cruddy stuff we did, right? But like it was within our scope of things to do, right? And all of that was factored in, right? All the variable. God knows all the variables, right? Like this is what could happen. And just because God knows what card you're going to pick doesn't mean he's picking your card either. So he could have made us robots, right? He could have just made us love him, but instead he wants like us to have a choice, right? That's so amazingly humble. If you are like you are everything, you have everything at any time, and you still create other beings even though they can make things worse for you, right? Like we come at a cost, at a humongous cost to God, really. Like we make messes that he normally wouldn't have to tolerate or deal with, right? And yet we're loved, held on a pedestal. Let me read some of this stuff here. It says, I find that crazy. It was done on purpose. They didn't make anything to last anywhere. Oh, is that? Oh, yeah, because things break. If you are in disobedience to God, he will put you through afflictions and chastening and discipline you. Absolutely, he will. Absolutely. But you want him to do that. That's the thing. We want him to do that. Hey, Hannah, how are you doing? Hey, Rev Sunshine. Hey, Vader Jones. Um, oh, yeah, the rats have been chewing up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow, man, I'm just so happy about like God. It just makes me feel incredible, man, because I mean, just knowing now, right? Like all this crap they taught us in school, everything formed naturally. Things are just anything could happen, and you're just a piece of sand or a piece of dust or whatever. I mean, we were so purposefully created, and God has infinite time for us. And like, but here's the thing, right? What we're going through right now is real, and the stakes are high, right? Like the punishment is real, right? But the reward is beyond our understanding. Like the reward is way beyond what we can imagine. And not only are we fighting against the enemy, like the world, right? We're fighting against Satan. We're fighting against ourselves, right? Um, Fighting against friends that tell us what we want to hear or are too harsh with us or whatever, right? Fighting against the trolls, fighting against all the lies, right? And even our own loved ones lying to us because they were lied to, right? All this, like we're fighting through all that, right? We make it to this point, and everyone's trying to convince us that we're crazy, you know? Oh no, you're crazy. Oh yeah, God's real, but he's really like this or he's really like that. We're fighting even against a bad image of God, right? They have a bad image of God out there. Most of these churches, who knows? I mean, it's infiltrated at the very least by satanic people. Every church, and there might be some good churches out there, right? Still, but they're at least infiltrated by bad people, right? I mean, I'm not saying I don't like to say that good or bad people because we're all equally imperfect, right? We're all bad, right? There is no good people except children, right? But um, yeah, this world is full of sin and deception, right? And I think that like maybe this is just part of our training, like part of what we're here to do. All the people that are supposed to make it are going to make it, and all the people that don't make it are we're supposed to not. Somehow it's going to work out to where we are going to know that it's fair, right? Like not that everyone doesn't have a chance, right? Everyone does. Yeah, everyone has an equal shot at everything, right? I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it's going to end up the way God wanted it to end up anyway. And if it doesn't, there I know that there's some sort of a system that will sound fair to me, right? Because I know that God is fair, and I know that God loves us, God reigns on the just and unjust, right? God feeds us both, right? And at the harvest, there's going to be some situations that are just the way it was going to be, you know. And there's going to be no every man will be without excuse, right? And but like the more I read the scriptures, the more I feel better about like what I think like punishment could be, right? Because yeah, I wasn't really a big proponent on. I didn't think that there was eternal conscious torment for people, and I still am not sure about that. AJ Bunch showed me some good videos that have got me leaning that way now, but I still don't. I mean, I've read the Bible a lot, especially the New Testament, where they speak about it hell the most. Jesus really speaks about it the most, but I still don't know if that's forever for a human being. I know it's forever for the devil and his angels. They're made of a different chemistry than us, so it's weird. I don't know. Maybe the stakes are at its highest, and I don't know if this is symbolic or real on in Revelation when they say there's going to be blood up to the bridle of the horse, right? That's a pretty graphic. That's a pretty graphic scene if you can think about that. A wine press with people in it. That is this is it, man. But the best part, the best the best part. Oh, okay. Faith is not going to make it today, I don't think. But yeah, it's like we have so much to look forward to, but we have to really get people to know that, man, the stakes are the highest they could be, and there's nothing that's going to be more real. We got to sell out right now and just tell our family everything. Like, okay, look, I was in denial long enough, waiting to freak out and tell you everything about Hollywood, tell you everything about the politics, tell you everything about the flat Earth. I don't care. I'm just gonna say every truth I know from now on to everybody. I don't care. I don't care if people get mad at me because I say Cameron Diaz is a man or whatever. I don't care, right? I don't care if people are mad at me. If I believe something is true, right? I guess you're right, Hannah. I guess maybe I got to pick my battles a little better because I don't know, I just want to come out with everything that's just true and just see where it sticks, and hopefully wake some people up, but maybe there are certain battles that I need to leave alone and weigh the pros and cons of everything and handle it in a more spiritually mature way. But sometimes I just get fired up and I just want to like grab my loved ones by the neck. Sorry, but that's graphic. But and just say, listen, this is the way it is, man. Don't you want to live? Don't I mean, and not just live, but live like we're children of God, you know? I get a number one from your mod because I really know the original. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. No, you're not gonna get a timeout for that. No, there's a couple people in here that it's hard, man, um when you find out that kind of stuff, it's very hard to change what you know. There's more important things to talk about than flat Earth, obviously, but I can't deny a truth though. Like if I know something to be real, I gotta say it. Only because it's just is what it is, right? But if you don't believe it, that's fine. We definitely have to choose our battles wisely, reacting to the news, and yeah, sometimes I want to. Right, I mean, Shepherd's voice. You're right about that. Not a salvation issue, but there's also a lot of other things that are not salvation issues that need to be discussed too. Like you know, gender stuff, and that's not salvation issue, but it needs to be addressed, right? You know, stereotypes and all these things, right, need to be discussed. And yeah, it's not a salvation issue, so we don't need to really talk about it. But I also want people to feel free to like, okay, this isn't a channel that only talks about like just okay, this truth and that truth, right? Like if like, and I'm not one to like debate it either, right? Like if someone comes here and acts crazy to me or something like that, I'll spit a little knowledge at them, But what gets me is like, okay, okay, let's change the subject. Let's say I'm talking about dinosaurs not being real, right? Then I'll get somebody that'll tell me, "Oh, I know for a fact dinosaurs are real." And I'm like, "Well, how do you know that?" "Oh, scientists, right?" I'm like, "Well, name one scientist, one paleontologist, just name one guy." you know? And it gets embarrassing because I've probably forgot more about dinosaurs than most people will ever know. And not to be that's not an arrogant statement. I'm not, trust me, it's hard for me to even say something nice about myself. um but it's true. Like I mean, I spent hours and hours and hours. Yeah, no, hey, I agree, Ray. Yeah. And and I'm just like yeah. Yeah. But it just is what it is, right? I'm just glad that like we're like finding this stuff out now, like before it's, I mean, think about all the layers and layers. Like when we were kids, right? If we I know Jurassic Park. I know if we were kids, right? When we were kids, right? Yeah, of course the behemoth was real. Absolutely. And the not only to the behemoth, but I forget the name of the other one now. Leviathan. Leviathan is real too. But but there was no death before sin. And so um when we were kids, right, we if we didn't know like an answer to something, right, if we needed to know like how many teeth does a hippo have or something like that, right, we had to ask our dad. I mean, like there, or find an encyclopedia, right, if you were lucky enough to own one that was like within the decade, right. Usually like a friend had like 4 volumes or something, of like an old one, maybe. And now like information is so quick, like we can scrutinize everything. Like everything we've ever been shown to be the truth, we can scrutinize it. And when you see things like especially Dr. Kaufman stuff and this other doctor that you know Cindy was sharing a link of this other doctor with Koch postulates and like isolating viruses to show disease. I mean, if you can't isolate the independent variable, then you can't. It's like there is no virus. Like if we know that, and we read Event 201, which is like a plan for this pandemic a year before it even started, with all the cities mentioned, right, Wuhan and all that, right? How do we ever believe it? And if I can't get normal people to read it, then how does it matter? Like, who creates the belief in this stuff, right? Like, is it up to God to unveil the eyes, of like, say, like I hand this stuff to my mom, what gets her to read it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can have the answer. I could put those two things in front of my mom, right? Um, and she won't read it. Like there's nothing I could do, right? Like I could do that with my brother, with my kids probably, and they won't look at it. They'll spend an hour, 2 hours listening to music or watching a movie, and those people are like people that watch people that make movies are, they do horrific stuff, right? Crimes and whatever, right? And we can't get our family to watch any of this information, right? And I'm grateful I'm from a family where, like, I mean, I was never pushed into like religion or belief, which I'm kind of upset about that. I wish that I was really, but I'm grateful now that most of my family is saved, right? I'm pretty sure of it, right? Like I can never question that and know for sure, right? But with what I see them doing, I feel safe about them being saved, right? And I think it is God blinding people and hardening their hearts, right? Because there's very smart people that I know, right? Like very smart people that just believe, like, I mean, lies, just straight up lies. And all it takes is, take a day out, right? And go through this stuff. The thing that makes it hard is one, getting someone to look at it. And then two, right, understanding like, okay, well, I'm going to check all the experiments, right? Like, especially things that we can do for ourselves, right? Like stuff that any human being can do, right? And seeing that every answer to every single, like, it's not just one or two anomalies. Every single test, every single experiment leads to a certain answer or whatever. I don't want to say it because I don't want to trigger nobody, but I mean, it's like you got to accept it, right? But there are people that won't, right? Like, I don't know, man. Like, I asked my mom about that. I said, will you never accept it, right? And she said, she was taught, the round earth when she was a little girl, and that's what she's gonna believe. I'm grateful she believes in Jesus. That's all I could think about. Right. It's maddening when they think that we're the crazy ones when we're the ones that actually took the time to look through that uncomfortable stuff, right? Hey, look, I didn't want it to be true either when it first came out, right? I'm like, oh no, that's stupid, blah blah blah, right? Obviously we got pictures of this and that, right? Blah blah blah, right? And then next thing you know, right? I'm like, wow, this is real. And then it just dawned on me, right? Like, wow, God is real. Like, God is for real, for real. And it just blew my mind, right? Because like I was already a Christian, but it was like it just cemented it in my head, like, oh wait, this is real. Like, we are out of here, and there is something better. Like, no wonder why I didn't fit here, even though nobody didn't tell me I was cool. But I never felt cool. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you guys ever felt that way, where you're like, I'm not part of this. Like, I don't feel like these people are that I'm part of these people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're not mean to me, but that I don't feel cool either. And once that hit me in the head, right? That God is for real, right? Yeah, for reals, right? I was like, wow, man, like this is the best day of my life, man. And I've had two kids, right? And when my first kid was born, that was the first day I really knew what love was, right? I'm looking at this baby that has said and done nothing in my life, right? Up to that point, and I would die for that baby. And oh, Agent Orange, yeah. Well, Agent Orange is definitely for real, you know. Why? What did they saying about Agent Orange? It's not real. I don't know. I heard it's really bad defoliant. I heard a lot of people got disabled that way, but I mean, is that a scam too? Man, that would really hurt my feelings to find out like stuff like that. Because I thought they were hurting people with it, like dumping it on the forest out there in Vietnam and just like really, really hurting people with it. Agent Orange is like a defoliant, right? That kills trees and like if you're fighting a war and there's a lot of jungle or whatever, they use it to kill the trees so that they could go in and fight whoever's hiding in that area. But If I find out that that's not real or and then that's some kind of scam, right? That would mess me up. Is it a scam, Vader Jones? Be honest, or is it? She watched. See, yeah, no, yeah. Then you're absolutely right. Yeah, 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 yeah. No, then that I do know about Agent Orange. Then it causes cancer. It causes all kinds of stuff, right? Yeah, yeah. It is for real. Yeah. Well, you know what, and the reason I even came out like that, right, is that it wouldn't surprise me to find out, right, the opposite, right? Like all of a sudden it's a 180 because it's like I don't trust them with anything, you know? I mean, Tuskegee was only like absolutely it is real. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Tuskegee was only from the 30s to the 70s even, man. Like, I mean, we're talking in the 70s they're giving people syphilis, right? African American men, they were giving them syphilis to see if they like just letting them die, right? Like without treatment. That's not only is it racist and cruel and every bit against like everything human, right? Then they want us to trust them with the the jab, right? It's like oh yeah, racism still happens with the police, right? But the doctors are all better now, right? They That was a long time ago for the doctors, but the police now, it's like selective. These people they're way past that now, but it's like, well, come on, man. Is it still happening or is it not happening, right? You can't have it happening in one area of life and then say that it's there's no downside to this jab and we should never question it or be skeptical, right? They really literally act like there is no downside to getting it, and then if you don't get it, then you are like some kind of criminal, right? You can get people to listen to a good teacher, yeah. No, you're right. It's hard to get them to listen to truthers, man. I don't know why, man. Like, is there some kind of like there must be some kind of spell on people, right? There must be some kind of spell that's like maybe it doesn't work on us so good or something, or like that we somehow slipped through, or like was it we're able to avoid it, or it just doesn't work on us that well, and we're able to decide, okay, well, I want to, find out against authority, against the mainstream position. I wouldn't mind believing in the opposite, contrarian position, right? I mean, if you think about it, that's a pretty unsafe feeling for some people because they like to stay in the middle of the herd, you know? Yeah. Oh, you can get truthers to listen to good teachers. Oh, you can't get good truthers. Yeah, yeah, to listen to good teachers. Yeah, it's hard, man. I mean, what can you do, man? I mean, to get to this channel, right, where you're like lined up with Jesus, right, and you're up on all the truth stuff, right? It's so rare, man. It's so rare, and even people here, in fighting different truth narratives, right, get triggered or whatever, and take off, right? I'm sure there's a couple people that have taken off, since we started, and it hurts me, right? Because there's people that I love, right, like they're just not going to be flat earthers, right? I don't know why. That's one of the easiest ones to prove, right? But it's just no matter what you say, there's going to be an answer, right? And then there's people that no matter what you say to them, they won't believe in Jesus, right? I have a friend, right, that we go back and forth, and I told him, I said, I only push this stuff because I care about you, like that. My whole intentions is to be loving and caring. I'm not trying to be mean, or like if you told me that, okay, I understand that it's true, but I want to choose something else, then I would respect that. But to say that it's not real makes me feel like I have the responsibility to help you see that it is, And this person like was gonna like end our friendship on the fact that I think Cameron Diaz is a man, dude. Can you believe that? Oh yeah, no, no. You remind me of my mom a lot, Red Skies, right? Like, I definitely like you being here, and you do say a lot of things that hit me right in the spirit. Like, you're on track with a lot of stuff, I don't share your love of the world, right, as much. Like, yeah, there are some beautiful things here, but I also know that like this earth is like comparable to a paper cup compared to what we're gonna get. Like this is temporary for us. And I like mountains and eagles and cows and birds, and I like all that stuff too. I think that's beautiful, and the sun and all that. You don't think Cameron Diaz is a man? Type of one in okay, type of one if you think Cameron Diaz is a man or was born a male, right? Was born a male and inverted at birth. That's what I think happened. She's like multi-generational occult family that got a very prominent position. People are sensitive to it because, especially with women, it's hard, right? So we got a one right there that she's a man. Yeah, I'm that confident too. I would die on that hill. But yeah, it's like, yeah, it's not the most important thing in the world, but it's important to know that like they've been having their eunuchs have been made since the beginning of time, right? There's always been some kind of a gender, um, it's a way to invert the human body, right? To because everything has to be inverted, opposite of what God does, right? And it's just yeah, I mean, Michelle Obama, that's obvious, like any politician's wife, right? Like if the one that had me fooled the most was Hillary out of all of them, right? Because I used to think like, oh yeah, Jackie Kennedy, she was so cute. She was like, I remember her being so cute. But then when you go back and look, you're like, wow, how did I ever fall for this? Like when you actually go back with eyes to see, like after you, because Michelle Double X does these great videos where she does, I mean, just goes through all the medical stuff, right? Oh yeah, I mean, I think Ray. I mean, if I'm being honest, I think it's most of them. I mean, if we're being nice, it's 80%. If I think it's all of them, you know, because I don't think you get to that level, right, where you have a platform that big unless you are completely controlled, right? The only way to be completely controlled is to be related to, the elite families, right? Because they have to make sure, because like, there's no dissenting opinions with people with big platforms. Because like, imagine if LeBron James was an anti-vaxxer. He would have like how many millions of people against the world? I mean, they can't risk that ever happening. Like, they have to have control. I'm not saying LeBron is, right? But I'm saying he's controlled, right? And with celebrities, like, the only way you can really do that is if they're related to the families, right? Now with sports stars, I think they're like maybe there's some of them that were in the families or whatever, but some of them are like just very talented, right? And they're told, hey, you worked your whole life to get here, you got to sell out or you don't get it. you know and that's just the way it is, right? And so, oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. And yeah, the jab, yeah. It's just, well, what's hard, right, is that like there are some anti-vaxxers, right, that are just not helping us, man. Like they're just saying ridiculous, goofy stuff, man. That you wonder if these are paid shills just to say something embarrassing, right? It's better if we just don't say anything at all and just we know that no one can make us do nothing. Only our Father in heaven can make us do something. And so we're always going to have a way out, right? I'm not worried about it at all, right? If it does come down to it where it's, hey, you got to get your head cut off or you got to get this thing. Well, I mean, look, at that point, right? If they're allowed to just squirt anything and they want in my body, do I really want to live through that? Like, do I want to live in a society where my body's not autonomous, right? Where I don't get to control what goes into my body? Yeah, I'm not gonna like, because then it's like, okay, well, now you got to get this one and that one and the next one, it'll just never end, right? It'll never end. No, I have an Adam's apple for sure. I have like one of them two pronged Adam's apples and a long neck. But here's the thing, right? There are some like gender inverted people that were probably abused or whatever that are like maybe low level like us, right? They're just related into those families, and it sucks, right? It sucks, right? But it doesn't. That's not what makes me like or dislike anybody. If they can be saved and they could love Jesus, right? Then I will do whatever I'll spend all the time in the world for them. I will. And so all that matters to me is can you be saved or not, right? Like like I think that if you have a flesh body, right, then you can be saved, right? But I don't know what kind of deals they make or what kind of blood stuff they do. I don't know. See, like I'm not a Satanist, right? So I don't get into all that. I just know, like the basics, right? Of like, okay, who's a Satanist, who's not, what are they into? But I don't know all the details about it, right? So there are sometimes I'll ask a question: can people still be saved if they are, third, fourth, fifth generation, transgendered, maybe at birth, or is there like a deal they make? I don't know, right? I have no idea. I mean, do they find some way to scare this, person's soul out and then it's taken over by these Nephilim spirits or whatever. I don't who knows, right? Like, I mean, it really is and it's not even really like Vader Jones, you're right. It's between God and the sinners, right? But I don't even look at it like that. Like I mean, I'm as big a sinner as anybody else. So being a sinner is not something that would prevent me from. I mean, I would run towards you if you're a sinner, right? Like those are the people that I want, the hardest people to love, because I want to love them, right? Like I can sympathize with people that you wouldn't think that could garner sympathy, I could really sympathize with people that are just messed up. And maybe on the other side it'll be different, right? But who knows, right? Like I just know that once we're changed into our glorified bodies, we'll be incorruptible and we won't have no choices or like no opportunity to sin. We won't think that way. We will be like him, right? And yeah, some people look at you and think you're going to hell, right? Well, hey, they could none of that matters. All that matters is like you're like it's between you and God, right? If you read Romans 10:9, right? Yeah, Romans 10:9, and if you believe that, you will be saved. There's no doubts about that because Jesus paid the price, right? It's paid in full. It's paid in full. And see, I think it's going to be more people than people think, right? I think if you think you're better than anybody, I think that's a bad thing, a bad way to be, right? So I agree with you on that, right? Like if somebody's saying, "Oh, wait, I don't like, you know, these people or whatever because of this or those people because of that. Well, it's time to look in the mirror, you know? It's time to look in the mirror. That goal is to chase men away. Well, yeah, you never know, right? You never know within people, right? Like we don't know, right? Sometimes we put on a front, right? Sometimes we put on a front because we don't want people to, get to know us or get too close to us or something. Sometimes I know people that have been like, abused a lot in their life and they're extremely touchy or paranoid or whatever. They don't want to talk to anybody. They're not bad people. They just have some character stuff to deal with, right? I wouldn't say flaws, right? Because they were hurt and it's not their fault, but it ends up being their problem still to deal with, right? And so I've done a lot of work with people that they want to change for the better, even though what happened to them wasn't their fault, right? And so I'm just happy that there's anybody would trust me with that, and it's been many people now, right? I don't know what it is about me that people trust so much, and I do have a long reputation of not telling each other secrets about other people, right? I don't do that. If you tell me something, I take it to the grave, and a lot of people have trusted me, and I feel so grateful for that. I wouldn't judge anybody's lifestyle too. My only question would be to them is, do you believe in the sacrifice of Jesus Christ, And what kind of relationship do you want to have with God, right? Do you want all the benefits of being a Christian? Because the rules aren't there to exclude us from anything. The rules are there to benefit our life, right? Because it's better for us to follow it. Now, just like if somebody was gay, right? I'm straight, but I can't fornicate with somebody right now, right? That's a sin, right? So to separate it into like groups like that is not great or accurate. It's if we sin, because we're all people, and if people sin, right, then they got to make amends for that, right? I mean, that's just the way it is, right? Now, your salvation is a gift, right? And so, whatever you want to do with that is fine, but your relationship with God is still important. It's not like you get saved and you can just forget everything else, right? I mean, part of being saved is that you're confessing Jesus as your Lord and Savior, right? So he's the boss of you now. And so, yeah, it's best to stay away from that altogether. I mean, I've stopped dating 5 years ago. And I know it's not for everybody, right? But I love being by myself. I'm never lonely. I'm never at any moment ever lonely or want anybody to come in my house and hang with me at all, right? Not that it like I wouldn't like if you guys showed up on the door, I would let you guys in and it would be great, right? But yeah, I would prefer being by myself. And you know, I I just like being alone, and I'm not in any kind of mood to like negotiate or uh I don't know. I can't consider anybody else living here or anything like that. I have bad. There's no way I could do it. I'd have to be by myself. What's up, y'all? Yo, mama? How you doing? Glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. I sure am. Yeah, I mean, like I've done all that, guys, right? There's nothing that I'm curious about, right? I mean, I'm a grown man. I've had my fun. I had a little stretch there where I was a decent looking dude, and I'm happy. If I thought I was gonna peak in high school, I probably would have had more fun, but it is what it is, right? Like, we all get our little period of time where we feel all young and beautiful, and then it's over, right? I mean, to keep that going is only a lie, right? I mean, have you seen some of these guys, right? They're bald and out of shape and they got like a Ferrari or something. I'm not saying that even that's bad, right? If you're bald and out of shape, then God bless you, you know? But like, I'm not going to carry on a charade, right? And keep that rolling, right? When I got my relationship with God to think about, I'm here for God, right? And I'm here to love people. I'm here to love people that are hard to love too. So if somebody's here and they're barking and they're, causing a bunch of grief, those are the people I want so I can help them. Of course I don't want the other people to be offended by that, but sometimes we got to give a little bit too, right? The whole, like, I have some people that come here and I'm completely nice to them and I treat them good or whatever, but they want one more inch, Then I have some people that come here and, they're grateful the first day. Who knows? You never know what people are going to want from you, right? I just only feel good when I'm doing what I think God wants. And here's the thing, right? I have everything that I want out of life. I have everything that I want. My kids are healthy. They're living good lives. I'd like for them both to be saved, right? But I don't need any money. I don't need any attention from anybody. I'm not interested in, being creepy or whatever. I just, I could be happy. Like, that's no sweat. But I feel good when I'm doing my purpose for God, right? That does make me feel good. And just to know that we all have purpose, right? Like, if let's say we're all hanging out here, right? Just to right. And right. And and so let's say we're all talking and hanging out, right? And a couple people come by here and go, "Oh yeah, you know what? I like what those guys are talking about, or guys and ladies or whatever, and I want to be part of that, right?" Then that's what we want. We want someone to be able to relate to what we're talking about and to want to be part of our group because they're tired of like the lies and the backstabbing and the all the crap that goes on out there, right? And it would be good for like brand new sheep, right? To think that this is a good place, right? And then to possibly they if they get saved, right? That's like what a blessing. And when me and Tom started this channel, we said if one person got saved, that would be awesome. And that's how many people got saved in the last like year and a half or 2 years, right? One person, right? But who knows how many seeds that we planted. And God's responsible for all that anyway, right? God gets all the glory, right? He does the saving, right? So we just throw seed out there and see what happens, right? And yeah, and you know what? If it wasn't for that guy, right, that you just mentioned, right? Like, I mean, who knows, right? Like, I met more people through him trolling me, right? My life was actually like I almost miss him, man. Like because I so many lost people were watching the show, and um, we were getting rebroadcast on 3 different channels. I ended up with 100 extra. I got 100 subscribers out of that, right? I mean, it was crazy, right? And what I had to let this guy talk crap about me for a few weeks, right? When most people that went there didn't believe it anyway, and the people that did believe it are people I wouldn't want here anyway. And so I'm grateful for all that, right? God uses everything for His glory. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 7, for we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. And 8, and having food and raiment, let us be there with content. Exactly. And I am content. That is all I need, right? I have everything I want, man. I'm so stoked. Like, you guys would not believe. I'm so stoked, man. I was talking to Cindy last night, and she said that, like, 2 days ago when I was done talking to her, like she felt so good, right? It was like 2 in the morning. She went and got a Coca-Cola and drank a Coca-Cola and like stayed up like another couple hours, going like I felt so good. Like she goes, I felt like how you feel, like you're ready to cash a lottery ticket. And that makes me feel good that somebody else got to feel that same feeling that I get to feel all the time. I'm stoked, man. I can't wait to get glorified and get the heck up out of here. And not because I'm depressed, not because I don't think I could go out there and live a decent life, right? I probably could, but I don't like the sin and the lying and the crap and the yeah, man. And hey, I'm with you, Vader Jones, but even on the clothing, right? It don't even have to really be that good of clothing as long as as long as I can wear it and it's clean, right? I don't even care about that, to be honest. You know, I could be in rags right now. Hey, look, when I read the story of the witnesses, right, wearing sackcloth, I could do it. I could do it. If God ever wanted to count on me for something like that and wear sackcloth, I think I could do it. Of course, I'm not John the Baptist or Elijah or anybody good like that, right? But but I could wear sackcloth and hang out or whatever, right? So whatever God wants me to do, I'm ready to do it, and especially if He wants me to die, because I can't wait to go today. They could come right now. Like let's get this show on the road. There's worse things than dying. There is. If someone told me I had to live another 40 years, that would be worse than dying. It for real, man. Everything and you're right, Vader Jones. Everything at some level in this world is a scam. Everything, not just designer clothes or food or the bank or your credit cards or your house payment or your job, right? Everything at some level, like Uncool Paranoia would say, is part of the clown world. The paranoia is uncool. You know what I mean? Like it's no good, man. You found this channel about the swearing. I don't know if I should watch it. It was entertaining. He sounds like a demon. Oh wait, you found this? Oh, his channel. His channel. Which guy? Which guy are you talking about? Um, I don't know which guy you were talking. Oh, you're talking about the Michigander channel. But see, I like Michigander. I mean, he's real. He does curse a little bit. I mean, but he's a real guy though. Like I would rather somebody be real than right, if that makes sense, right? I think there's a lot to be said about people that are genuine. And yeah, of course, it's better if we don't curse or whatever, whatever, right? But like, I've always known him to be a solid dude, man. Solid dude. He's always been good to me. And so I'll take that to the grave. But you've always been good to me too. So, oh, you mean him? Yeah, 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 yeah. When I heard him curse, yeah, yeah. But I always thought like, oh yeah, he's got a good heart. Maybe I could get him. Maybe I can get him to think. Maybe I can get him over the edge, and he can think. He can think about what do you call it? Maybe he can become a believer or something. Who knows, right? Like, who knows? Some people are just meant to be trolls and give God a bad name, right? You got the logo and then you go and act like a fool and turn people off, man. And that's what they want. They want some crazy self-aggrandizing Christian that they could bash on, right? Uh, because but Jesus wasn't about all that, right? Jesus was so forgiving and he was like, no, I'm not going to hang out with you church people. I'm going to go get the real people. And, I'm against government. I'm against the church. Not he wasn't against the church, but he was against people being so letter of the law that they forgot the spirit of things, right? And yeah, no, yeah, directly like a demon, man. Yeah, you're right. Well, he wasn't always like that though, to be honest, Red Skies. Like when I first met him, he wasn't always like that. He was better, you know. Like if you could see him a year ago, year and a half ago, way different, man, way different. It slowly got to him, man. Messing with these people, man. I mean, who knows, man? Maybe he did start out good and he got just messed up because he just wouldn't have any humility and give God credit, right? Maybe he was just, all about him having this gift of being able to spot liars or something. And then you get a big head, and then demons they love that when you have an ego and they just fill up your, soul or whatever. Yeah, hey, you know what? Me too. Hey, Vader, that's absolutely. I cringe when I say it, or even when I hear it. You know, I mean, I don't ever say it, but if I did, it would make me cringe. Like, and there's sometimes I'm singing a song where like that would actually sound good in the song, right? And I still don't do it. I mean, I'll make the noises, but I won't say the words. Like that. I don't know, man. Oh, you mean for you to watch here or over there? I wouldn't watch over there. What are you going to get out of that? It's going to be the same stuff over and over again, right? It's just people. Oh yeah, that was the first curse word that my mom let me say. My mom and dad let me say. Like I started to be able to curse in the house when I was like 12 or 13, and that was one of the first things they would let me say. But I mean, I grew up in a very liberal house. Yeah, you're not going to get very much edification, Red Skies over there. I wouldn't watch it. Why watch that? That's no good, man. It's no good. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, you can watch something else. I mean, look, I'm at the point now where I don't trust any channel anymore. I used to have like a list of like truther channels. And I'm like, oh, these are pretty good, you know. But man, it's hard to say because who knows who's controlled op against who, and the devil always owns both sides to every fight, and you're just like, man, what is real and what's not real? Can we all just stop rejecting the truth and learn just what's real so I could just know that's all I want to know is what is real and what does God want me to do? I want him to tell me. Like I want you to do this, this and this and not that and not this. Yeah, it's better to not watch it. I mean, it's kind of scared me too, but I sat next to it for 6 months. And you know, I tried to do my best to still be who I am right now. But I mean, I had to take on the responsibility that I was co-signing that crap. And yeah, that's very hard to do. I lost friends over that. Isaiah chapter 6 verse 5. Then said I, woe is me, for I am undone, because I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of people of unclean lips. For mine eyes have seen the King of the Lord of hosts. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, birds of a feather, right? I mean, whatever you do, right, that's what you're gonna be around, right? Like, like if you want to know who you are, right? Like, take a look at like the top 5 people that you hang out with, right, all the time. Like, okay, I always hang around these 5 people the most, right? And you're a product of them, right? Like you are what you eat and you are who you hang out with. I mean, that's it. And if you love God, right, that's a good positive thing. Because it takes more than just believing in God. You got to love Him, right, and want to make Him happy, right? That's part of it. I mean, I'm not going to say it's part of salvation. It's not, but it's part of the whole thing, right? I love when people ask me, well, do I got to do this and this? But yeah, you got to do all the things that it says in there, all of it, everything. You got to do everything. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, okay, salvation is cool, right? Okay, cool, you're saved. Congratulations. But what is like you're saved and then just screw everybody else? No, you gotta like live your life for God, right? That's part of it. You know? Luke says, I think most people I'm subscribed to could be fake. It drives me bananas. Yeah, well, hey, Luke, I feel the same way, man. At like, I mean, I was like subscribed to Jaren and all these, all these other people, right? And I'm thinking, oh yeah, he seems like a pretty honest dude, the honest flat earther or whatever. But man, these people are so shady, man. Who knows what's real, man? Then another guy comes out with a hit piece on that guy, and that guy comes out with another hit piece on that guy. Next thing you know, they're all behind the paywall, man. And then what do you do? Like, what, I'm gonna pay to go see them now? No, man. I mean, I have no problem giving. Yeah, he is, man. He is a tuna, man. But not only that, right? But I mean, just the things he says about God, it just makes me cringe. Like, how can people think that about God, man? And say those things. Oh man, I've gone way longer than I'm supposed to go. I actually was able to kind of hold an audience today, man. Normally I'm not this good. Don't get used to this good of a show. When I'm with other people, it's a better show, but I wasn't too bad today. Yeah, it's so hard to have close friends in this world, Rob. I mean, especially with things going on. So how is everything with everything, Rob? You never emailed me, man. I'm like, I think about you all the time. I'm worried about you. I think about you, man. And if anybody wants to like, stay in touch with me, right? Like email me at goodservant22@gmail.com. And if it doesn't take long to get on phone number status. But I gotta have a little filter process, right? Before, it's hard to trust somebody right off Jump Street because you never know, right? You never know who's gonna act. I've had people act a fool, man, to me, and I'm like, Steven, you're doing too much, man, giving out your number and all this stuff, man. But you know what? Look, I mean, I know it doesn't seem like that many people, but there's about 130 people that like not everybody watches everything every day. There's some people that watch the show once a week or once every couple days or whatever, right? So there's people with less contact, but there's about 130 of you guys, and I like to stay in contact with everybody. Yeah, no, absolutely. Hey, Rob, absolutely. And you're part of me getting closer to God, and I hope I'm part of that for you. And hey, I'll tell you what though, I forget your name now. Your real name is a beautiful name. I know that. And I don't want to call you UP. Um, but yeah, no, exactly. I stopped drinking, smoking, all that stuff, right? And then they're just like, "Oh, you don't got no beer at your house? Oh, yeah, I'm not coming over." Oh, what? You're not coming over? But yeah, that's how it works, right? You stop acting a fool, and people don't want to come over no more. It's all just a big scam, man. Every Samira, that's right, Samira. I gotta remember that, Samira. Yeah, yeah. But what was Shannon was saying yesterday, or yeah, last night. If you want to throw poop, man, then you gotta touch the poop. So I mean, that's on you, man. If you want to touch poop and throw it. I am horrible with names. What's going on, Joel? How you doing, buddy? I'm glad to see you, man. Glad to see you here. It's a good spot for you. Yeah, hard time stop drinking. Well, you know what? Like, I'll tell you what, I've had my problems with alcohol. So that was one of the hardest things for me to quit. And I'm not proud of how I had to quit that and all that stuff. It took me a few years to get my life right. It's tough, man. It's tough because when you're an empath, right, and you're always, absorbing everybody's pain all around you, it's all you want to feel is just another way, just relaxed. So just please tell me how to be. I don't know how to be, and just relax. And I know what that feeling is like, Luke. I do. And I know what it's like when you start getting in that routine of needing to have to drink. And it's like then you're sick. You don't really want to drink, but you know you got to. And once you start in the morning, you got to keep going all day. I know the rigors of that are just horrible, man. And God bless you, man. Yeah, bars are the worst, man, especially for guys that have a drinking problem. Like that's where you get in the most trouble. But anyway, guys, I got to round out because this is a half hour past my time. But I will be on again today at 5 o'clock with Shannon for part two of Hope with God. And I think that that's good because last night's show was really good. I mean, I really thought it was good. So, and I usually don't have that high of an opinion of stuff that I do, but that I liked that last night was good. Yeah, it would be great if we can all meet, but I think that we're gonna meet in the sky pretty soon. You know. Yeah, Shannon's on tonight. Yep, absolutely. Yep. We've already made the deal. It's already gonna happen. I sent her. Oh yeah, she has the outline from last time, so everything is good. So if you guys ever want to come on and talk, right? Like Luke came on one time and talked. Alex has been on me. In fact, I built half the channel with Alex. To be honest, he deserves as much credit as Tom. And I've had many of you guys on. Many of you guys on. So whenever you guys want to come on, just let me know. Just put down what you want to talk about, and if that's something that I think we could work with, and have you on and talk about your testimony or whatever. It'll be fun. All right. Well, anyway, I love you guys. God bless you. All credit to God. That's right. That's right. All glory to God. Well, that's why it worked, man. Is because you're like that. And I don't really debate Joel, but I know that T-Mog and all them, they like doing that kind of stuff. T-Mog and what's the other guy? ETT or whatever. They do that kind of thing. All right, guys. God bless you. Praise Jesus for his sacrifice and his grace. All glory goes to God. And pray for the children. And I'll see you guys tonight. All right.